Yo, what's up, guys? I want to talk about something that is pretty awesome. This is a case study that I saw on the Moz blog for a marketing company. They did a piece of content for ADT, the security company, like the home security company. And they did this piece of marketing content. This one page drove 30,000 monthly searches. And we'll show this. We'll put this up on the screen. We can show the actual case study here on the Moz blog. You can go read it if you want. And it's pretty awesome. I mean, 30,000 monthly searches for keywords. You know, Ahrefs is estimating a traffic value at about $18,000 a month. If you were to pay for that same amount of traffic on Google Ads, for example, that's pretty amazing. That's pretty amazing. But let's talk about how they could make it even better. So let's jump over to the computer here and take a look. All right, so here's the page on ADT's website. This is a crime map, and it's ranking for the general term crime map, which if we jump over to Ahrefs here, this is a tool that tells us, it's like a keyword tool, gives us a lot of traffic volume data. It's showing us that page alone is getting about 26,000 visits a month from organic search, and that traffic value, if you were to pay for that same traffic in Google Ads, on a cost per click basis, you'd be paying about $18,000 a month for that traffic. That's pretty good for a single piece of content. So these guys did an amazing job. But here's a big way they could massively improve this. I mean, like 10x improve this probably. So let's take a look at the actual keyword. So here's the search results for the keyword crime map. And I'm in Portland, Oregon right now. So as you can see, the top 1, 2, 3, 4, the top 4 results, 5 are all Portland, all specific to Portland. Number 5 is not. This spot, where is it? LexisNexis is general. Then we look at portlandoregon.gov. This is Portland specific. This one's general. So out of the top, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 results. Out of the top 7 results, 5 of them are specific to Portland, Oregon, specific to my location. And so these guys could dramatically improve the traffic to this page if all they did was automatically change the URLs when you searched. So for example, I can go in here and put in a zip code. Let's say I put in like 97215. That's a Portland, Oregon zip code. We hit enter, and that gives us a zip code in Portland, right? And then if we scroll down, it gives us, I might have to click this or something. There we go. So if I click it, it updates, right? So there we go. Now we've got Portland, Oregon crime statistics. And all they're doing here is they're using a table to look up the zip code and then match that to a city, right? So they already have this table in the tool, in this piece of software that was coded for this page. They already have this data. So all they would have to do is when I search for Portland, Oregon, or I search a zip code, 97215, instead of, look at the URL is the same, so it's still /crime. So what you would want to do is if you search 97215, the tool goes and looks up the city and state, right? Which is how it returns all of the crime stats for that city and state. But the additional thing it should do is it should redirect you to a URL. I would probably structure it like state/city. So I'd probably structure it like that. I would maybe even get more specific with it. So Portland, Oregon, 97215 is the southeast area of Portland, Oregon. So I would maybe even say like southeast, or you could get even more specific if you had some good data. You could say it's the Hawthorne area of Portland, Oregon. So you could almost get the URL super specific here. But you wouldn't necessarily have to do that. They already have the data to pull these crime statistics. So they already have the table to look up state and city. So basically what they would want to do is this, so that if you search 97215, it would automatically, when it loaded the new map, it would load it on this URL, okay? And that's a tiny little change that doesn't seem that important, but what that would do is it would allow Google to index all of those city and state URLs. And how many city and states are there around the country? Thousands probably. I don't know how many there are, tens of thousands. That would be tens of thousands of URLs, unique individual URLs that Google could index and then rank, because Google's already ranking the city-specific stuff, right? That's what they want to see at the top, apparently, because if you go Google something and you see a bunch of stuff at the top, that's probably what Google wants at the top. So they want city-specific stuff. So if we created URLs that Google could index that were city specific, and then if you search this, if you hit, Portland, Oregon, right now it goes to an error page, right? I'm getting a 404, page is still loading. So yeah, the page is missing. They would 10x their traffic. They would probably get the #1 spot, because here's the thing, ADT is already, I talk about brand awareness being an important factor in SEO, and specifically brand awareness within the sort of space that you're competing. So we got to think, who has brand awareness in crime maps? The cities have brand awareness in crime maps, maybe. I'm sure this Neighborhood Scout does, because I think that's a pretty well-known site. But ADT is pretty close to, they're a security company, right? So there's a pretty tight marriage there for the most part between crime maps and security company. And so they have this level of authority in this space that is going to be hard for any other organization to match. I say this a lot, that the real companies in a space often have way more brand awareness and way more authority in that space than anyone else, including like the aggregator sites or like this Neighborhood Scout. This is just a tool to view crime stats. ADT is literally a anti-crime company, basically, right? So and they're well known. Pretty much everybody knows who ADT is. So they have massive brand awareness here. So I have almost no doubt that if ADT did this one change, they would rank #1 for this term. If not #1, then definitely in the top 3 for sure, in every city across the country, every city that they had a map for. And their traffic, if we look at this, total organic traffic is 26,000 right now to that page. Let's take a look at what the total traffic is for crime maps. Crime maps. Let's look at a city just to be Portland crime map, just to get sort of a feel for how much traffic volume there might be at the city level. Okay, so now we can see the total volume for crime maps is about 46,000. Total volume for crime maps is about 6,100. But then look at the cities. LA crime map, 1,700. Portland crime map, 1,200. Multiply that by, 1,000, 10,000 cities. I don't know how many cities are in the US. Let's Google it and find out. 19,000 incorporated cities. So let's use that number and just say out of 19,000 incorporated cities, let's just say there's a very small amount of volume, like maybe times 200 searches a month, right, per city. Versus, LA has 1,700, Portland has 1,200. Let's just say there's an average of only 200. Times 19,000 cities, that's 3.8 million searches a month. Now, I doubt it's really quite that high. I bet most people are searching crime map, but man, I bet they could at least 10x the amount of traffic they're getting just by adding city and state URLs to the way this tool functions. So that's a super quick tip of what a massive improvement in SEO you can make with really, really small tweaks. But in general, these guys did an amazing job on this piece of content. So it's clearly driving a killer result.